What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Last Word Sports Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Scott Cavertz, and after some recent NBA games, which saw Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks struggle a little bit, and LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers surge, I kind of wanted to come out and affirm to you guys why Giannis Antetokounmpo is the clear-cut NBA MVP for this season. And if he doesn't win, there's a serious problem with the NBA because Giannis has been way better than anybody else in the league. So like I said, the Bucks just lost to the Heat the other night in a rough game for Giannis. And the Lakers are coming off of a pretty big win for LeBron where without Anthony Davis, he had a big game, I think a triple-double against the New Orleans Pelicans, showed up against Zion. But don't really focus on this recency bias. You have to look at the whole season. And the truth is that Giannis is having a historically great season, one of the greatest seasons of all time, and so are the Milwaukee Bucks. So let's just start with Giannis's individual stats. The guy is averaging 29.6 points per game, 13.8 rebounds per game, 5.8 assists per game, and he has a PER rating, a player efficiency rating of 31.92. His PER is the best in the league. He's fourth in the league in scoring, fourth in the league in rebounding, and 24th in the league in assists. So those stats are all super impressive. But the key is his player efficiency rating, right? Because that's an advanced stat. It's not as simple as points or rebounds. It calculates so much more than that. His player efficiency rating, right? Player efficiency rating takes into account accomplishments such as field goals, free throws, three-pointers, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, and negative results such as missed shots, turnovers, and personal fouls. The formula adds positive stats, subtracts negative ones through a statistical point value system, and it adjusts for pace as well as for bench players and minutes. So it's really probably a much better stat than just points or something. Simple one for showing how good a player is. And Giannis doesn't just have the best PER in the league this year. Giannis has the greatest PER of all time. He has a PER, like I said before, of 31.85. And it's truly incredible because nobody else in NBA history has had a PER that high. You know how people discredit a lot of Wilt Chamberlain's stats because, Wilt Chamberlain played in an era where there were a lot weaker competition, right? And so people say, oh, it was easy for him to dominate. His 100-point game isn't really that impressive because, other great athletes could have scored 100 back then. But with Giannis, his PER is still higher than Wilt's best PER in a season. And Giannis has the highest PER. Wilt has second and third. Michael Jordan has fourth, and LeBron James has fifth for the top 5 PERs in the season. So as long as Giannis keeps playing the way he's playing, he's not just the greatest offensive player in the NBA right now, he's having the greatest season of all time, according to this statistic. Now, obviously that's debatable, but the point is, he's incredible, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, right, Giannis is in the 99th percentile in the league for isolation defense. Milwaukee has the league's best defense, and Giannis is the centerpiece of it. He's been truly phenomenal all year long. He's incredibly fast, and he's like 6'11". He plays like a point guard, though, and so he's just a lockdown defender. In terms of other stars, right, he's a pesky defender like a point guard is what I mean. In terms of playing against other stars in the NBA in isolation defense, right, I'm going to take you through some of his stats against Ben Simmons. He's guarded Ben Simmons for 53.5 possessions this season, and Ben Simmons in those 53 possessions has made 0 shots in 53 possessions. He didn't make a single shot against Giannis in isolation defense. Okay, Anthony Davis. Giannis guarded him for 25.5 possessions, and AD was 3 for 12 from the field. How about Zion? Giannis guarded Zion for 16.8 possessions. Zion was 1 for 7 from the field. His defense is just incredible. He's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year, at least be a finalist. On top of that, like I said, his player efficiency rating is the greatest of all time, and he's fourth in the league in scoring and rebounding. The other day against Charlotte, he had 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 6 assists. The guy's just incredible. He's a freak of nature. And here's the thing. LeBron is great. Don't get me wrong. He's having a heck of a year, especially for a guy who's 35 years old. His whole Wash King tag was a huge promotion for him, and it really showed people like, hey, he hasn't fallen off. LeBron is still probably one of the best players in the league, right? I'd put him right there behind Giannis, with Kawhi, top 2 or 3 players in the league. He's averaging 25.5 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game. He's actually leading the league in assists with 10.6 assists, which is very impressive, and he's averaging a PER of 25.68, which is ninth best in the league. So those numbers are very impressive, especially when he's playing with another superstar like Anthony Davis. But LeBron just hasn't been as good as Giannis. Because the truth is, the Lakers haven't been as good as the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are the greatest team in the NBA right now. Not only is their record 52-9, the best in the league, they have the best. They score the most points per game in the NBA, 119.1. That's first out of 30 teams. They allow 106.8 points per game, which is third out of 30 teams in the NBA. Their simple rating system, which takes an average of your point differential and your strength of schedule, they're first in the NBA in that. They're first in the NBA in pace. Their defensive rating is 101.5, first in the NBA. I mean, the Bucks are just incredible. They're by far the best team in the league. They blew out the Clippers. They've beaten the Lakers multiple times. When the Bucks played the Lakers earlier this year, Giannis was 5 of 8 from the three-point line. Like, if he can actually make a couple threes, it's over because the guy is, he's 31.1% from the three, which is pretty terrible. And he's still going to win MVP. He's still the best, probably the best defender in the league, probably the best offensive player in the league. Giannis is just incredible. You can't stop the guy going to the rim. And on top of that, LeBron, as great as he's been, he's still had a couple struggles at spots like the free throw line, where he's only shooting 69.3%, which, for a guy who really plays point guard for his team, you'd like him to be a little more consistent there. And from the three-point line, where LeBron does have some nice three-point highlights, but he's really only shooting 35% from three, which out of, it's kind of middle of the pack. He's probably like the 100th best three-point shooter in terms of three-point percentage, so nothing too impressive there. For LeBron, it's mostly the assists. I mean, leading the league in assists at age 35 is incredible. And don't get me wrong, he's been great, but Giannis has just been on another level. And here's what you guys have to think about. Winning league MVP, it doesn't mean achieving an objective standard. It just means being better than the guys around you. And let's be real here. Nobody outside of Giannis or LeBron has a shot at winning this award. The only other guy who I would really consider is probably like Kawhi. But Kawhi doesn't play enough games to be considered for the award, right? And I totally agree with that. I recognize that. So really the only two candidates are Giannis and LeBron. And between the two, it's just not even close. I mean, Giannis has the greatest PER of all time. He's the best player on the best team. And he's the best defender and offensive player in the league. There's really nothing more to say. If Giannis doesn't win MVP, then the NBA is just about storylines and, the whole Wash King tag and selling tickets, because as great as LeBron has been and as cool as the story has been, this award should go to Giannis without a doubt. So that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comments below, what do you guys think? Should LeBron win MVP? Should Giannis win MVP? Are the Bucks going to win the title? Are they going to come out of the East? Just tell us what you think in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, fellas. I'm Scott Gerberts. This has been The Last Word.